Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying and to a slightly different format today. As you can probably tell, I'm still in the UK and I've just been finding it a little bit difficult to put as much time into editing videos, so I am sorry for that, but that means that this Rally Estonia preview is going to be a bit different and I'm going to try and do it in one little take. One take. There's going to be some looking at notes. I'm sorry in advance for that, but I can't remember everything because my brain just doesn't work that way. So I'm going to try and do one take and talk through the runners and riders, and hopefully you will enjoy it. Normal service will be resumed on Thursday. I will be back in Saudi, so I will have better facilities at my disposal for editing. But for now, enjoy this attempt at a rambling one take video. So we have Rally Estonia back after a one-season hiatus, back on the championship calendar and commencing the summer season of faster gravel events after the rough and tough stages of Acropolis and Sardinia before that. So we are back on something smoother, which will be good news for one man, and that is Elfyn Evans, who leads the field away. Good news for him. I think he's had a difficult couple of rallies leading the field on rough events, lots and lots of road sweeping, and it hasn't suited him, has it? He has maintained his championship lead. It has not been a disaster by any means, but it also hasn't been the best. I hope we see a bit more from him this weekend. He's done an okay job. I'm not going to be too critical, but I think we are reaching a very, very important point in the championship. We're halfway through. He needs to put the hammer down. You know, he is good on fast gravel, previous winner in Finland. We need to see some good speed this weekend, and I just want to see him reassert himself. You know, I think we've had an ever-growing threat from Ott Tänak. Obviously, Sebastian Ogier has been there for the entire season, even though he's not done the entire season, but he is an ever-present threat when he is competing. And I think we just need to see Evans get back on top. You know, I think if he could get a win over the next couple of events, that would really put the pressure on his rival. So, will he do it? I don't think he will, but I think he will be in amongst it this weekend more than he has been over the last couple of rallies. So hopefully that is true, because I want to see the championship battle go down to the wire. And I think if he can stay in front over the next couple, I think particularly if he can stay in the championship lead until Central European Rally, I think he will go on to win the championship. I think the problem is if he loses that lead prior to Central Europe, I can see things maybe going away from him, particularly with the strength of Tänak, and obviously we saw Rovanperä at Canary Islands decimating everyone, so that could potentially happen at CER as well. So I think Elfyn Evans needs to make sure he stays out front until then. Who do I think is going to win this weekend, however, and I think it has to be Ott Tänak. He's looked really good, hasn't he? He looks very much like a driver in form. We don't have Sebastian Ogier this weekend to throw a spanner in the Hyundai works, or the Tänak works. So for me, I think Tänak is the man to beat. I think starting third on the road, I think he's going to be very, very good indeed. I think he is. I think he is going to be impossible to beat. I just can't. I can't look past Tänak for this one. I just think with his form recently, I just think he's going to be very, very good, and I think he will win the rally. I do think Evans might finish second. I'm going to put Evans in second for this one. I was thinking about putting Rovanperä in third, but I'm going to put Neuville in third. The reason for that is that I think, plucky Neuville, isn't it? Plucky Neuville, not had a great year, but second half, I just hope that things will start to fall into place and he will just start to build a bit of momentum. Obviously, I think his championship title hunt is over. I don't think he's going to retain his crown this year, but I just hope that things will move forward a little bit and we'll start to see some of that old Neuville magic and see him back fighting at the front. Rovanperä. The reason I haven't put Rovanperä in third is because I don't know. Something's not quite right still, is it? You know, whether it is the tyres. Obviously, there's been issues of him being used to the hand-cooked tyres. Everyone's having to adapt to that. But I don't know. I just think he's maybe not quite in the groove of competing full-time, and I just can't quite see it. I think he might win Finland, but I think this weekend maybe just adapting and getting used to the faster roads and the faster conditions and you know, not being on a bumpy rally. I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about it, and I don't know. It's Mystic Meg stuff, isn't it? I just don't see it. So that is my top four. Moving down the order a little bit. Look, I'm just going to look down. Sorry, I'm looking down. We've got a very interesting entry, haven't we, further down the order. So we've got Takamoto Katsuta starting 5th. I worry for Taka. Lovely, lovely man, but I'm wondering if time is going to start catching up with him. Obviously, Toyota want a Japanese driver in the team. Is he that man? You know, he's had a long time in that car now. He has shown flashes of speed. The win is yet to come. I don't know. I just fear that time is running out. You know, we've got Solberg, haven't we, in a Rally 1. If he puts up a good show this weekend, you know, and I think he'll get another outing later in the year. If he does that, I wonder if maybe Taka could start to face some danger. There's a lot of competition for seats as it is, and if Solberg brings himself into the discussion, you know, we've got other Japanese drivers coming through the challenge program with Toyota. I worry for Taka. You know, I think he needs to get that result, and he needs to find the mindset that allows him to get that result. You know, there's no doubt that he is fast enough to win a rally, but things need to fall into place, and I think the biggest thing that needs to fall into place is mindset. So, tricky one for him. Pyari, building year for Pyari, isn't it? You know, rookie, full season, he just needs to keep plugging away. These types of events, you know, this one in Finland should hopefully suit him a bit better, but again, it's a learning one. Solberg, I touched on, didn't I? Very important week for him. Well, I don't think he'll be anywhere near the front in terms of the final result, but I do expect some reasonable stage times here and there. But again, I think it's for him, it's just about showing that he can do the job, bring the car home, set a couple of decent times, and try and get another outing later in the year. Then that brings us on to the Fords, doesn't it? We've got Gregoire Munster. He's the top Puma. Oh, top Puma. Tricky one that, isn't it, top Puma, because top Puma is effectively near the bottom of the Rally 1 standings. Still, I feel bad for Munster in a way, because he is still learning, but he's been put in such a difficult position as well, hasn't he, with this, you know, being the team leader when he's not experienced enough to be a team leader, and the car is obviously, I know people say the car is still capable of winning. For me, the car is capable of winning if you put an exceptional driver in it. If you put Loeb in it, it's capable of winning, but to me, the car is still a little bit behind. And that's not a criticism of M Sport. That is a reality. You know, M Sport don't have the budget compared to Toyota and Hyundai. And that means that they're just not going to keep upgrading the car as much, are they? They're not going to be doing as much testing. They're not going to understand the car as well as Toyota and Hyundai do. So it's not a criticism of M Sport. It is a reality of their program and how it works. So that makes life difficult, doesn't it, for their drivers? And yeah, it's tough for Munster, isn't it? And I hate to say it, I don't know. He's a talented guy, nice guy. Is he a top level driver in the making? I remain to be convinced. I think, you know, he has obviously had a couple of stage wins this season. There is progress, but when you've got this expectation, you know, from the likes of Solberg around, and you've got your Rovanperas, those guys who are so brilliant, so young, I think it makes it very difficult for someone like Munster, and I wonder if, like Katsuta, time might overtake him a little bit. Other M Sport, we've got Josh McAleen. He is continuing his development journey. You know, you can't criticise McAleen. For me, I think, you know, he's young, he's learning the car, learning his craft still, and he's doing a decent job this year. So it's not been a perfect year, but, you know, I think he's going in the right direction. He is getting closer and closer to Munster, isn't it? And for me, I think eventually he will overtake Munster. But so yeah, he has to keep going. Martin Sesks, obviously, he had an explosive Rally 1 debut last year, not been so impressive this year. A few little boo-boos and things along the way. He's got a new livery for this weekend, in case you care. There are pictures of that online, so that's nice to see, isn't it? And I like Sesks. You know, he's bright, lots of personality, fun to watch. Very enthusiastic, you know, very lively. So all of that stuff is very good. He just needs to get some results, doesn't he? You know, I think the problem for Sesks is that he impressed everyone so much last year that expectation is very high for him. And it's difficult to meet that, isn't it? You know, he is still learning. But I hope that his season will have a bit of an uptick. You know, this one should suit him pretty well. So, you know, I think for me, I say that, I sounded quite negative, didn't I? I've sounded quite negative about him, but I can see him beating the other two Pumas. I can see him finishing as the top Rally 1 Puma, and I could even see him beating Pyari and maybe even Taka. So I think he's ready to get a decent result, isn't he, this weekend? But I don't think he's going to trouble the podium. So that is Rally 1. I will very quickly touch on Rally 2. So we've got Rupert Cornahan leading the field in a Yaris. There's going to be... who's going to win this one? You've got some big names there. You know, you've got Nikolai Gryzin, you've got Romain Jurgensen, you've got Robert Verves. So you've got some big names there. Obviously, Solberg being in a Rally 1 means he's not there. So I think he would have been my Rally 2 favourite. But he is not there this weekend. So it's difficult to call a winner, isn't it? Rupert Cornahan leading the field. I could see him winning it. Toyota is obviously a very good car, but I think Gryzin will probably be there or thereabouts. So I think they're probably my pick, perhaps. So yeah, not the strongest WRC2 field, unfortunately, but always worth keeping an eye on, isn't it? I love WRC2. I love Rally 2, as you well know. So there we go. I'm going to stop wittering because it's been more than 10 minutes. I should say a little bit about the rally, shouldn't I? So it's about 303 kilometers, just over. One interesting fact about Estonia is that the power stage is over 24 kilometers, 24.2 kilometers, I think it is. And the longest stage of the rally is 24.3 kilometers. So the power stage is the second longest stage of the rally, which is seems quite unusual somehow, doesn't it, to have such a long power stage? I suppose for viewers it's going to make it tricky because it might make things a bit more drawn out to see the result, but I think it's nice in a way, because my fear for the power stage on some events is that it ends up being a little bit Mickey Mouse. So I am pleased to see that the organisers in Estonia have created a longer stage. So it's, you know, it feels a bit more proper, doesn't it? They say the power stage should be representative of the rally, and this one very much is. So that is good. I am going to stop talking. I'm going to ask you to talk instead. Let me know in the comments below who you think is going to come out on top this weekend. And do you think my prediction will be right? Do you think I've got it all wrong? Let me know. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well. And follow me over on socials too, of course. And I will see you again next time.